just like any runner, just like any Olympian, you need to train. You need to train your mind, your body, and relationships are going to help you do both. What do I mean by training? You gather your, so, all right, going to the running thing. You're going to run 26.2 miles, all of you. Next year. All right, so any runner or any athlete that's going to be training for an event, what do they have to do? They gather their information. You're going to plan and set goals. You don't just do everything overnight. You've got incremental goals. You have to build your endurance, and you have to build strength. Right? So even a runner still has to go to the gym and lift weights or do whatever they need to do. Okay? And this is not just physical strength. This is also mental strength. In fact, I had a patient a couple weeks ago. Oh, it was great. I couldn't have planned it better. She was watching the Ironman triathlon, and she comes to me and says, I know what you're talking about now. She's like, they've got to build their physical endurance, but they've also got to build their mental endurance, because you can't, one's going to give out, and the other's not going to be able to keep going. Right? So those training runs are, you're not just adding miles, you're also adding the confidence that your body can do it, that you can do it, right? Likewise, you can say, I'm going to be able to do this and have, the most confidence, but if your body hasn't been trained, it's going to give out on you, right? So you got to have both. And to do all those things, to train up for that, no marathoner, no athlete does it alone. Absolutely not. You've got the Lance Armstrong team. Okay? You've got a lot of people around you that are going to support you. Okay? It's not just about the running. You've got to have the right diet and nutrition. Tonight's meal doesn't count. Okay? But you're going to be covering off, all sides of you. You've got to be paying attention to your diet and nutrition. This is true for you. You've got to get your rest. You've got to get your sleep. You've got to have your downtime. And balance, right? We talk about sometimes work-life balance. There's multiple parts of you. You've got to have family life balance and health balance, and you've got to negotiate relationships. So it's all about balance. And moderation, right? Right, Robert? Okay. So, social support. You've got your training team. You've got people who are actually maybe doing some tangible things for you. Maybe taking you to the doctor, getting some prescriptions refilled. You've got your trainers or your coaches, your doctors, giving you the advice, giving you the game plan, telling you how to do things, right? Sure. You have your cheerleaders, your people saying, you can do it, right? And then you have personal assistants, who's keeping everything up for you. Do you guys have your training team? Do you have your Lance Armstrong teams? Yeah.
I got my cheerleader.
So,
that's the same thing. I'm not wearing that outfit.
Not only can you not do it alone, that social support, that positive social support, I'm going to say, it helps with your emotional well-being. It does help with your mood. We see it all the time. And it also has physical health implications. It helps your blood pressure. It helps your heart rate. It helps different aspects of your actual physical health. So it's not just a feel-good effect, but we know that people are healthier in different parameters because of social support, positive social support. Because we all know negative social support is not very helpful. All right. So gathering information. We know that people who understand things, who have knowledge, do better. Again, kind of goes with that preparation, that planning. The more you know, maybe the less uncertain you feel, the less anxious you feel. I am a big fan of knowledge. Shoot, I couldn't stop school, right? You want to know what's going on with your body. You want to know how to respond. You want to seek information. I recognize there are some people who don't like to hear the information. And sometimes that's okay, but after a while, you still need to know what you're going to do. You still need to know where things are going. All right, be prepared, be planful. Is that a word? So this is part of, covering your bases, right? You want some groundwork. This is going to go into a little bit of your shock plan. Who has their ICD card in their back pocket or in their purse tonight? Okay. Who has medical jewelry or any kind of identification on? One hand? Really? Okay, guys. I don't even have a heart condition, and I am wearing an ID bracelet. I'm not at risk as far as I know. Risk. All right, it's very important. It's a safety thing, right? If something happens to you, God forbid, you want people to know who you are and what they can do. All right, so there's medical jewelry stuff in the back, so you can look at that sexy jewelry. It's really nice. You wear it well, sir. There's also now, if you don't like that stuff, there's a lot of different kind of sportswear identification jewelry that you might like, if that's what's getting in the way of you wearing it. I know purple goes really well with suits, but hey, you should wear something, okay? If something were to happen to me, anyone could pull up all my information, all of my case of emergency, my blood type, my doctors. This is a fancy one, but this is just an example. Why aren't you guys wearing something like this? Safety precautions. I don't run at night by myself. Okay? We have cell phones. You carry those with you, right? So you want to be planned. You want to be prepared. People have your medications in your back pocket. Doctor's phone numbers. At least of an in case of emergency phone number?
Yes.
Yep.
And they use it too, let me tell you.
So there is an element of safety, just things that you should do. And then particularly if you are someone who is fearful or nervous or worried about things, then these are things that you can do that can help with that. Having a shock plan. Okay? So I know you guys have spent a lot of time talking about that, and you're working on cool magnets, which I think are just awesome. So you want to know exactly what you need to do, and you want to discuss that with your doctors. Generally, it does seem that they are pretty consistent across the board with some of the things in terms of having a shock, calling in, having multiple shocks. You might want to present to the ER, that kind of thing. But I'm going to let you speak to your doctor and your treatment team for those specifics. But the purpose is you need to know what they want you to do, and you need to have the people who you spend the most time with know what to do, right? Because again, that could be fearful for the other person. You want to have that plan. So, also part of the shock plan is knowing what you're going to do emotionally. So thinking back to what I said a little bit ago about, God forbid if you were to have multiple shocks, kind of that perception of pain increases, you get more tense, you get more anxious, and it hurts more. Okay? So if you, while like I said, it happens pretty quick, you might not necessarily be able to prepare for the shock coming on, but once you were to have one, you can have some relaxation strategies, some stress management strategies in your back pocket, so to speak. So if and when it does happen, you already know what you're going to do to try to calm yourself down, to keep yourself cool, calm, and collected while you're waiting for someone to help you, or maybe you're just, again, mowing the lawn and you just keep mowing the lawn without skipping a beat. relaxation or stress management strategies here? Anyone ever do like a breathing technique or listen to music, meditation, anything like that? Okay, wonderful. Yeah? Music?
If one of these would come on, these shocks would occur, or based on the information that you've gotten back from people, is there any time span that this may last 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes? Or 1 to 2 shots, 5 shots, 10 or 13 as he said that he had?
Well, I mean, that is, not a common experience.
My doctor said it wasn't a record.
I've unfortunately definitely heard of more shocks happening at one time. But one shock is quick. I mean, it's a shock. It's
Right.
not an ongoing event.
4 or 5 seconds?
So I'm just saying, what's a reasonable time to
It's
generally?
just an instant like dot.
Right, a normal shock, just what,
What
30 seconds is over?
Yeah.
Your shock will be
Right.
over. in
And
half a
it's less
second.
than that, I mean, it's quick.
So that's quick.
Yeah.
And if that shock doesn't do it, they give you one just a little bit stronger about 30 or 40 seconds later.
Right, but those was exceptional, abnormal for most modality shots.
But in any
Just
case,
that he had multiple.
in any case, if you get the first one, if it doesn't get your heart back in the rhythm, it gives you one just a little bit stronger. It doesn't keep getting stronger and stronger,
Right.
but they have 2 levels.
They have
Usually the first
2 levels of
one, later
shots.
the second.
And the good news is it's doing its job.
Right, it is working.
Right.
Well, that's the purpose of the ICD.
That's right. That's right.
I feel more secure having that, knowing when I do go away or travel away versus before I had it implanted, where I did feel more anxieties, anxious, mood swings and so forth versus when I had it, like I said, implanted in, I feel more confident with it than without it. So
You're safer than I am.
I feel safer.
I'm shocked.
One of my electricians referred to this as a backup system. My real system is the medication strategy. That's what controls most of the functioning of the heart. And when it doesn't do its job, then it's just it off.
Yeah, it's like the backup generator, right? Re-energized.
So taking your current shock plan and going one step further and thinking about how you might respond emotionally, what can you do, so to speak. Obviously, it's hard to calm yourself down. I mean, it is, it's easier for me to say this up here than for you to experience it. But to just kind of give that some thought, practice makes perfect too. Simple breathing techniques that you can practice that just kind of can be soothing and helpful, and then you've already got that kind of in your framework if and when you should ever need it.